Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network. You already know who it is, and I'm back once again with another banger with yet another video. Yo, this fool Skip is on damn crack. Must be on meth. For the stupidity, the audacity of this man to disrespect Dirk Nowitzki is incredible. So, guys, he was on Undisputed, and Shannon Sharp, who normally I don't agree with a lot of his points that at times he'd be making on basketball, and I just say stick to football and other topics that he's very knowledgeable at. But he spoke 100% straight facts when it came about Dirk Nowitzki, where he talked about how Dirk is actually one of the more underappreciated players in NBA history, and I agreed with him when he said that. When he says that he feels that Dirk is probably a top 25 to top 30 player, and I agree with him. As a matter of fact, Dirk Nowitzki and both Dwayne Wade, to me, are both top 25 players in NBA history. Okay? Dirk is very underappreciated. Shannon is exactly right. And he talked about how he's the second greatest foreign big man other than Hakeem Olajuwon, which is a very fair assessment. You know, I wouldn't mind him saying that. Where people say Hakeem is better or Dirk is better, you know, it is what it is. You know, give or take, man. You choose your pick. I don't mind. You know, it's cool. But Dirk Nowitzki has 31,560 career points, right? Well, yeah, 31,560. And he has 11,489 rebounds. They might have been more last night in terms of the points and the rebounds. But my point is, Dirk Nowitzki is only one of 4 players in NBA history to have 30,000 points and 10,000 rebounds. Who are the other 4 guys, you say? Karl Malone, Will Chamberlain, and that old GOAT up there, which is the greatest, who has the most points in NBA history, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Think about that. Dirk Nowitzki, foreign-born, is the only foreign-born player out of the 4 guys that's in the 30K 10,000 rebound club. You're telling me that Dirk didn't have an impact on the game, Skip Bayless? How about that one-legged fadeaway, man? One-legged step-back fadeaway that Kevin Durant uses, that LeBron James uses, that some of the players in the game uses. And you know what's so crazy? Kevin Durant idolized Dirk Nowitzki because he actually thanked Dirk and he said, for a guy who shoots 7 feet tall, who is 7 feet tall, and to be able to shoot at the level that Dirk Nowitzki does, Kevin Durant thanked him because he said that when he was, you know, patterning some of his game after him, people thought it was crazy that if you would have told me that you had a 7-footer who would be able to shoot at the level that Dirk Nowitzki is when he should be in the post, they would have said you were crazy. As a matter of fact, back then, what were big men known for? They were known for being on the block. Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar both said this, and I don't think many people know about this, but they both did interviews where they said that they actually could show more skills if they wanted to. The problem is that with the coaches that they were with, they had to do the things the traditional way. They didn't want to see big men running the floor. They didn't want to see big men showing handle. Shaq talked about that. If you guys remember the 96 All-Star game, Shaq went against a little friendly competition with Michael Jordan one-on-one. And Shaq hit him with a very nice dream shake move when he posted him up. It was really nice. Like, Shaq looked so fluid doing it. And I said, yo, maybe Shaq is more skilled than I thought. I mean, his career, to me, he showed the potential because Shaq could run the floor. You know, he was a guy who changed the game with the way Shaq came in so athletically gifted and how agile and how lean he was for a 7-footer. But, you know, Dirk Nowitzki changed the paradigm. He says, yo, you don't have to dominate in the post to be a great big man. You could shoot the 3. You could shoot the mid-range. You know, you could shoot from the outside to be effective. So he changed the paradigm. And that's why I always go back to Allen Iverson when he's always talking about that he's a fan of the game and the game is always changing. And it's true. He's right about that. You know, whether some old school guys are like, you know, I'm not a fan of where the game is going, but, you know, Iverson just appreciates basketball. You know, it is what it is, right? But Skip had the nerve, the gall, to sit there on that desk and say that Dirk Nowitzki is not an all-time great, but he's a top 50 player. What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? I'm out of here, man. Yo, y'all niggas tripping. Because if he's a top 50 player but is not an all-time great, aren't you an all-time great if you're a top 50 player? I mean, somebody help me with that. Skip's delusional ass literally sat there and said Dirk is not an all-time great, but is a top 50 player. I give you that. What? Let me tell you who Dirk Nowitzki is, Skip, if you don't think he's an all-time great, but he's a top 50 player somehow. And once again, I say Dirk is top 25. Dirk Nowitzki, only foreign-born player in NBA history with 30,000 points and 10,000 rebounds. He's only one of 4 players in NBA history to have 30K and 10,000 rebounds. And you can even add his little 3,651 assists. Well, he wasn't much of a passer. Skip, Dirk wasn't much of a passer. What position does Dirk Nowitzki play, Skip? Really? Really? Aren't the point guards known for the passing? And some forwards who could be versatile? Like, Skip. Dude. This brother's out of his mind, man. And then he had the nerve to say that he'll take Manu Ginobili over Dirk. He's better than Dirk Nowitzki. I love Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili had a great impact on the game, but he didn't have the impact that Dirk Nowitzki had. I'm sorry. He didn't. Manu's not even a top 50 player, and that's no disrespect to Manu. Manu is a future Hall of Famer. He helped Tim Duncan win championships in San Antonio. Great career, great skill player. I love Manu, man. Competitor, heart of a champion. But he's not better than Dirk Nowitzki. He's not. He's not even top 50. I could see Ginobili as a top 100 player, but top 50? No. As a matter of fact, let me show you Dirk's career. 14-time All-Star. 12 All-NBA selections. 4 first team, 5 second team, 3 third team. Had a 50-40-90 season in his MVP season in 2007, leading the Mavericks to 67 wins that year, the #1 seed in the league, in the entire NBA. Best record in the entire NBA. He won a championship in 2011, beating who? A very good Portland Trailblazer team with a young LaMarcus Aldridge and all-star Brandon Roy, who was injured that year with a knee injury, but he came back and played in that series. Beat the defending 2-time NBA champions Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol with the Los Angeles Lakers, who had just came off 3 straight finals trips. Swept them in the second round. And I've never seen the Lakers get dismantled the way they did with the way the Dallas Mavericks did. Bro, they had no answer for their floor spacing. And what happened was with the Dallas Mavericks, they kept extending their defense. What the Mavericks did was they moved the ball and they used the motion offense. The Lakers their defense was no match because the Lakers couldn't stop the ball or their man. So they always got lost. So low post defense really wasn't going to work because the Mavs were really transitioning a new era of basketball, really. I mean, you could talk about the Suns. They really played it. But I'm saying, like, the Mavericks were doing it to the point where it was like it was really changing. And it was like, you know, now teams were really starting to emphasize a little bit more of the 3-ball. And, I mean, the Golden State Warriors, again, they were the cream of the crop before teams have really caught up to them. So, but anywho. But my point is that, you know, he beat Kobe and them, right? With the great team that he had with Dallas. Underrated that Mavericks team. Beats the young Oklahoma City 55-win Thunder. The Lakers won 57 games, and I think the Blazers were a 50-win team, right? So he beats the Oklahoma City Thunder, going to the Western Conference Finals with a young Russell Westbrook, who made the All-Star team. Kevin Durant, who made the All-Star team. Oh, mind you that Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol were also All-Stars in 2011. Just saying. And then he beats the Miami Big Three. Prime Wade, Prime Bosh, and Prime LeBron. All of them were All-Stars that year. With Wade having the best series of any player, shooting 54% from the field, 26-5-5. And Dirk Nowitzki won Finals MVP, and he beat 3 future Hall of Famers, him along with 38-year-old Jason Kidd, him along with Jason Terry and J.J. Barea and those great boys, and Tyson Chandler with the defense, and Shawn Marion, and Brian Cardinal, and who was this guy? Deshaun Stevenson, you know, all those guys. They beat the Heat were the favorites, and he beat them. So let's put some respect on Dirk Nowitzki's name on that 2011 playoff run. In my opinion, it's the second greatest playoff run in my opinion. To me, the Lakers it's really hard. because I should do a video on this. Who had the better, more impressive record? Dirk's 2011 run, the Lakers' 2001 run, or Hakeem's 95 run? People were talking about 94. I know Hakeem won Defensive Player of the Year, he won MVP, and he won Finals MVP. I think he's the only player in NBA history to win those 3 awards. But I think his 95 run was more impressive in terms of Hakeem, because the Rockets, they're the lowest seed ever to win a championship at 6. And they had what was called the steeplechase. They beat a 60-win Utah Jazz team in the first round. They beat a 59-win Suns team in the second round, coming back from 3-1. Then they beat the team with the best record in the league in the San Antonio Spurs with MVP David Robinson. Beat Barkley, Malone, and Stockton. David Robinson, Charles Barkley. And then in the finals, beat the number 1 seed Orlando Magic with Penny making first team All-NBA in just his second season, and Shaquille O'Neal, who was the runner-up MVP on that stacked Orlando Magic team that had Horace Grant, Nick Anderson, and 3D Dennis Scott. Beat them 4-zip. It's arguable that, to me, the 95 Rockets had the most impressive championship run of any championship team in NBA history. But I should do a future video on that. But anywho, back to Dirk Nowitzki. So, yeah, Skip had the nerve to say, so yeah, I'm just like, you know what, Skip? Are you mad that Mark Cuban punked you out on your own show? Or is it that you're mad that in 2006, as I remember, the San Antonio Spurs were 63-19, the best record in the Western Conference, because the Detroit Pistons in 06 had the best record in the league with 64 wins. Prime Tim Duncan, Tony Parker entering his prime, made the All-Star team in 2000. No, he made the All-Star team the next year. Oh, I think it was, 2006 was Tony Parker's first All-Star year. Manu Ginobili did not make it that year. He was an All-Star the previous year in 05. But the Spurs have the best record. I believe they had the number 2 defense in the league, if I'm not mistaken, or number 1. The Dallas Mavericks had the 7th best defense, and they won 60 games. Tim Duncan had 41 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists. Dirk Nowitzki countered with 37 points and 15 rebounds in that Game 7. Yes, the series went 7 games, and if people remember, the Mavericks had a 3-1 lead. Jason Terry gets suspended in Game 5. In Game 5, he gets kicked out of the game, I believe, and he's suspended for Game 6. The Mavericks should have won that series in 6 instead of 7. But anyway, so in Game 7, the Mavericks blew a 20-point lead. Manu Ginobili puts them up by 3 with a 3-pointer. What does Dirk Nowitzki do? He comes right back and gets the and-1 with that horrible, stupid foul by Bruce Bowen. It was either him or Manu. I forgot, but it was one of those two. But anyway, he was clutch, hits a huge 3-point play, sends the game to overtime, and the Mavericks come back and beat them in overtime. Beat the number 1 team in the West on their way to the finals that year. So that's right. Dirk Nowitzki has a 2011 ring. So that's why maybe Skip is mad about that 06, because he's giving Dirk no love. Oh, like I said, he has a finals MVP, a championship. Yo, Dirk has had an incredible career, guys. I mean, let's put some respect on Dirk Nowitzki's name. All right? I mean, Skip is just salty, man, that he doesn't want to give Dirk credit. It's like when it only comes to LeBron James and when he beat him, it's like that's when he gets credit, but he doesn't get credit for nothing else, man. He's just hating on the Spurs, man. And that's what I think it is. But I just think it's ridiculous that he comes out here and says that Dirk is not a all-time great, but he's a top 50 player. What? Ridiculous. Like I said, I have Dirk and Wade in my top 25. They deserve to be there. They've had great careers and a crazy impact on the game, man. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know what Skip is smoking right now. Definitely smoking salt smoke, that's for sure. But that Skip is a character, man. I'll tell you, man. But simply ridiculous, man, with that nonsense. Unbelievable. Yo, but anywho, man, this is your boy Lewis, man, with another one, man. Just wanted to shed some light on what Skip was saying. Skip was just delusional as F with those stupid comments on Dirk Nowitzki. And like Shannon said, Shannon made a huge case for him, and he was absolutely right in everything that he said about Dirk Nowitzki. It's very true. Like, It's ridiculous. And what's so crazy, guys, was even in 2014, at age 35, Dirk almost had a 50-40-90 that year. He shot 49 from the field, 41 from three, and 90 from the free throw line at age 35 when he averaged 22 a game. I think it was 22, 8, and I believe 3. But, yo, at 35 years old, you almost have a 50-40-90? That's impressive. While averaging over 20 a game? As your career's kind of going downhill and diminishing because Father Time is undefeated. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about what Skip said, man. And like I said, Dirk is an all-time great. Like, the disrespect, man. The audacity, the gall, the blasphemy, man. Incredible. But anywho, man, as always, bless up, one love, peace. Thanks for watching.